Today we have another young Indian with us. Hello, everyone. Good to be with you once again. Today we have Smit Veer. He's an economist, but much, much more than an economist, doing things that most economists don't even think about. Let's hear from him. Over to you, Smit.
Yeah, surely. Hi, everyone. Hello, all the viewers. I'm very much delighted to be here in the Voice of the Young section. And thank you so much, Mr. Subodh Mathur, to giving me this opportunity. So, who am I exactly?
Yes.
So, I've graduated from Berkeley Institute of Politics and Economics, and I've completed my master's in economics from there back in 2022. And it's been 10 months since I'm working here in Fractal Analytics as an Imagineer for Fractal and a consultant for my clients. So, what exactly I did to get over here? So, we can go down back since 10th standard. Before that, I'll give a brief interview. I proudly say that I have diverse experiences all around in different industries. Now, I'm 23, and when I proudly say that, I know people will surely question how can such a person with such a young age have these diverse experiences. So I'll go down one by one. Okay. So the first thing, since my 10th standard, everyone, so I'm based out of Mumbai, and post 10th standard, everyone tends to go into the junior colleges, and we have to select different streams. Everyone in India knows about that. That's art, science, and commerce. So my peers around chose science, and I was under so much peer pressure. But in the end, I took arts. This is what loved me. So I chose arts. I did humanities ahead. Post 2 years down the line in 12th standard, everyone was shifting to engineering. Everyone had fixed goals. They wanted to do this, that, and so on. And therefore, even I decided that I'll shift my focus and I'll prepare for the Union Public Service Commission exams. Now, this was something really huge for me. So I did my 12th, and 2 years post 12th, I really studied hard for UPSC. And in that process, I realized that I have a business mindset. I joined several committees. I've joined Protract. I've joined other committees as well. And in those committees conducting events, and I realized that I have a business mindset. And therefore, I started my own company called as Evergreen Seekers. So it is a trekking and camping company. So me and my friend, we together started that company and successfully ran it for 5 years down the line. So here, this is where things changed. I
Wait,
started
wait,
my
wait.
own.
Is that camping or is that glamping?
Okay, so glamping is an what you can say expensive form of camping.
Yes.
So my company is trekking and camping and not glamping.
Okay. So where do you take the people, or where did you take them?
So basically nearby to Mumbai. So
Right.
nearby to Mumbai, there are Sahyadri mountain ranges, and in those Sahyadri mountain ranges, we have our campings. And in those Sahyadri ranges itself, we perform our trekking activities as well.
So how did you know all those treks? You had already gone yourself there?
No, so here is the catch point. So since my third standard, I have been very much involved in camping and trekking and all those things. So since
Okay.
my third standard, I have been into school treks, have been into all the school camps. I've never missed a camp in my school. In all those years, only in one particular standard it was that I missed, but rest have all gone.
Okay.
So
So,
this is where exactly things changed. This is where I realized I had a business mindset.
okay.
And from the year, in the final year of my graduation, I realized that I wanted to do masters in economics and not UPSC.
Okay.
This is where things changed, and therefore there comes a dilemma in between that whether I should pursue a master's in economics or I should pursue an MBA because a
Yeah.
business mindset person should naturally pursue MBA. This is where I was even confused. I really thought, then I thought of the return on investments. I thought about how much my dedication is there or what is my confidence to actually take up an education loan for MBA, because MBA those days and even these days cost around 25 lakhs roughly if you are pursuing it in India.
Yeah.
If you go outside, it's nothing less than 60 lakh rupees.
Yeah.
So this is where I figured it out that I do not have confidence to take up an education loan. And therefore, I pursued masters in economics and I excelled. Now I'm pretty much happy that I'm actually pursuing consulting even after doing my masters in economics.
Okay.
So
So
this is where things
what
changed.
part of the course did you excel in, or in all the subjects?
So I really loved all the subjects, but one particular subject I loved was business analytics. So
Okay.
business analytics is all about understanding the business and then taking down all the analysis and actually seeing how the business will run well.
Okay.
So this is where I really excelled and this is what I loved and this is what I'm currently doing.
Okay.
Now, in all this process, I talked about I have different experiences. So there is really much more into what I exactly did. So I'll delve down deep into each one by one. Okay.
Okay.
So the first thing I say that I have experience in textile industry. And why do I say that? I pursued my internship in a textile factory and it was a business case study internship kind of thing. So where I had to perform dashboards on Excel, I had to, narrow it down and find out where exactly are the costs high and then how can I increase the profitability, what marketing strategies I can provide. So this is where I say that I have an experience in the textile industry.
Okay.
Secondly, I say that I have experience in agriculture, fuel, as well as in the aviation industry. Why do I say that? So, in the agriculture and fuel industry, I had written my research paper. So, it was based on flex fuels. You know, right? Today, these days, all electric vehicles are coming. But in US, Mexico, and all those countries, even in Brazil, okay, flex fuel is a concept which is in process or which is actually taking place where there is 80% ethanol and 20% of petrol in their engines. So this is what I was working on. This is how India can, enter the flex fuel industry.
Yeah.
Because we all know that electricity is still being produced by bituminous coals.
Yes.
Even though we have lithium batteries and electric vehicle comes in, the problem here is how are we going to produce electricity and how are we going to reduce the carbon emissions over here?
Okay.
We have carbon credits all around the world. India certainly has carbon credits, but India is also, producing equivalent amount of pollution over here.
Yeah.
So this is when I say that I have experience in agriculture and fuel industry.
Okay.
Coming to the aviation industry, if we talk about aviation industry, I had in a case study competition, I had this case to solve Jet Airways issue. We all know like Jet Airways is going to shut down in between.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So this is when I say I had the aviation case in my hand, and this is where I say that aviation industry is what I have experienced as well. And then lastly, I can say I have another experience in the Mumbai locals. And I say this because I have done an internship in National Institute of Industrial Engineering under Professor Benil Kumar.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, so that research paper on which Mr. Binal Kumar was working typically involves how a person is selecting their first mile in terms of mode of transport. So let's say if I'm a person, I'm going to office, my first mile would be walking towards the station. So
Yeah.
walking is my first mile. My second mile would involve taking the train and reaching to that particular stop where my office
Okay.
is.
Yes.
And my third mile would again be walking towards the station.
Yes.
So this is where I say that I have experience in the transport industry as well. I have learned how things are working, why people are choosing a particular spot, why is that first mile and the last mile equivalently important.
Yes.
Yes. And lastly, trekking and camping industry. I've
Yeah.
started my own startup there and I've successfully given the operations to another company to handle it across
Okay. So
currently.
did you sell it out or did you make some money in that or what happened?
So I have not exactly making money in it, but I have given the operations over. We are yet to talk about the profitability issues and the royalty and everything else. How are we supposed to take it?
And who are the clients?
I do not wish to name them
No, no,
because
I
we
don't know.
haven't
No,
said.
not the buyers, the customers. What's the profile of the people who go with you?
Okay, so they are essentially students, no more than that.
Okay.
So, students of my age, let's say 19 to 20, 16 to 20, everyone entering college has an info like, let's visit this place, let's visit that place, let's
Mm.
go on a trek, have a fun weekend.
Yeah.
So, this is where my customers come from. They are basically all teenagers. And surprisingly, there are also people with older age who come to treks. And
Okay.
we are very much surprised when we see that they are much more fitter than ourselves. Okay.
Is it only males or is it joint?
Yeah, it's joint.
It's joint.
So yeah. So let's say we are climbing and they are climbing at a higher speed. We then realize how high our cholesterol is compared to theirs.
Yeah. Well,
So,
they are coming because they are fit. The young people are coming because they are young. So
exactly.
that's the difference, I think. So what have
Hmm.
you enjoyed the most in all
Yeah,
these years? You have gone through so many technical experiences and
Mhm.
you have set up your own venture. What is it that makes you really feel happy?
The one thing that really makes me happy are, of course, all the experiences, because in all these experiences, I've learned a lot. And specifically, I started earning my own pocket money
Yeah,
while starting my own adventure. That
yeah,
was really plus point for me. I was
yeah,
really looking ahead to earn my own pocket money, so I do not have to ask my parents to,
yeah,
give me some money. I have to go out with my friends. This is not what I exactly wanted.
yeah. So, but now you have a job, so you have more than enough money, right?
Yeah, yeah, I have more than that.
Huh?
This is what it is. And when I entered my master's, that is the first time I actually opened my LinkedIn profile.
Yeah,
And, this is what gave me opportunities to actually look around different profiles. I've seen engineers doing, not just more than MBA, they are into different fields. Engineers are sociologists too. This is what I have observed. And this is what actually got into me, that if a person can switch their profile and be what they want to, why can't I do the same?
yeah,
Exactly. So this is where, I started penning down my thoughts.
yeah,
Okay. Firstly, I explored LinkedIn a lot. I came across different profiles. And secondly, the most amazing thing which I came across a LinkedIn profile was the dashboard.
yeah,
So basically, dashboard is nothing much more than a set of graphs which
yeah,
come across and tell a story.
yeah,
And I was really intrigued by it. So I decided that I'll create a dashboard and I'll narrate a story over here.
yeah. Please.
So I downloaded my semester 2 marks PDF in my masters, and I created an Excel dashboard out of it. So the dashboard consisted of the marks in my unit tests, the marks in my semesters. Okay, rather not mine, but all of the candidates in my batch. And then I had the standard mean, variation,
Yeah,
deviation from the
yeah,
average, and all that.
yeah,
And when I posted this on LinkedIn, I realized that many people did not know about this. My
yeah,
peers started messaging me, how did you this? How
yeah,
did you do this? Can
yeah.
you actually let me know
Mm,
what my rank is in that particular batch profile? And
mm,
this is what actually motivated me. This is what I felt that, I want to actually be different from others. You
okay,
cannot just be an average individual in the whole society. You have to have your unique identity. And this is what I realized. So this is what I always try to distinguish myself from the others. I try to establish an identity.
okay.
And so this is what I continued. I continued making dashboards all along till I, at a certain level mastered them. I
Yeah,
also used them in my interviews and they were really impressed because this is some person who's actually, doing them and posting them in public.
yeah,
So, usually people are afraid to post anything in public because critics come in, this comes in, that comes in. So they are quite afraid. But I was open to all. I decided that I'll be open to all. There's no issues in that. And second best thing I did was I wrote 1 minute read articles.
yeah. What
Now,
is that?
yeah, yeah. So these articles, they are just randomly thoughts which come out of my mind. So firstly, I wrote down, can not bathing actually save fresh water?
Yeah,
Because in country like India, we know what the problem of groundwater actually is,
mm,
how fresh water is becoming rare day by day, and how people are actually opting all the desalination plants are coming in and all that stuff. So on that thought, I actually penned down. Okay, I remember those were the summer days, and everyone was actually like, "Okay, I do want to bathe," but coming down in the winter days, people be like, "This is so cold. I just don't like taking a shower."
okay.
So that's what the thought came in my mind. I penned down my thought. I wrote a few numbers and came to this conclusion that if 65% of Mumbai's population do not bathe for 8 months, we can save around 1,20,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools of water. Okay, this is where I came into comparison. This is what I actually spoke in my interview, and then the interview questioned me. Is it so? Is it so? Why should we think on these lines? Why can you not actually effectively think on something else which can actually be helpful rather than saving water in this way?
Hmm.
This is where I answered like this is what I thought. And government is spending 1,200 crore rupees around on a desalination plant in Mumbai. Why not just not bathe for 2 times in a month for next 8 months? We will save equivalent amount of water.
Okay.
Why do we want a desalination
So,
plant?
but what's the 1 minute in it?
Yeah, so the entire article, if you read, it's just for 1 minute.
So that's 100
It's
words. How many
yeah,
words?
yeah, that's around 120 words, not more
120
than that.
words. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
120 words. All right. Fine. You can
So
write. You can write a meaningful article in 120 words.
yes.
Congratulations. That is really a
Yeah,
major
that
achievement.
is
That is a major achievement.
yes. That is exactly the skill I gained from my UPSC classes
Okay.
because they train you to write the answers, how you exactly have to be written, what should be the introduction,
Yeah.
what should be the main para, and the
Mm.
conclusion, the typical standard of any answer.
Yeah.
And you have to be very crisp while
Yeah.
doing so,
Yeah.
so that you can fill plenty of. So this is where I gained this particular skill. So
Okay.
I keep remembering myself that I have not wasted anything.
Okay.
I've just learned from each and everything that I did.
Okay. Wonderful.
And
What of the future? Let's talk about your future and the future of people around you whom you know and so on, not just you, but your cohort, your friends, whomever you want to include in this.
surely, so I still feel that I should continue exploring many aspects of it. I'm particularly interested a lot in the FMCG industry. I see how this industry is growing, how the consumers are buying, what mindset do they have, what psychology is being involved while buying a particular product. So this is what is actually interesting me a lot. And I feel that I should go ahead in this particular industry and drop down my ideas, drop down my marketing strategies, and see how it goes ahead.
Okay.
In
So,
this meantime,
is there any
Mhm.
example that you can share with us?
For this particular FMCG industry.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm currently working for a big FMCG giant itself in
Yeah.
India and in the world,
Yeah.
and I've seen making them strategies all around.
Yeah.
Okay, they have different strategies on how to actually sell a product, what exactly is the consumer mindset, and
Yeah.
how exactly do they buy it. So I particularly don't have a strategy around. I'm there in the analysis section. I'm there in the consulting section as to what next product you should bring in and why you should bring in, looking at the competitors around.
Okay.
But what I'm currently seeing in the current market scenario, where recession is being coming in other countries, of course not in India, is what I see, but recession is being there. The inflation is quite high, and what these particular FMCG manufacturers have done is that they have reduced the grammage and kept the price the same. For
Yeah.
example, I have this Haldiram's packet with me. Okay. So this is my favorite snack of Haldiram. I actually have it. Now, if you see, the price is the same, but for all such other packets, if you see around, when the inflation rises, they try to keep the price the same and reduce the quantity in which they are offering.
Yeah. It's called shrinkflation.
Shrinkflation,
Right.
exactly.
That's what
So
they
this
call
is
it.
what is,
Yeah.
yeah,
Shrinkflation. Right. It's pretty
it's
common. Shrinkflation. Fool the consumer
correct.
into thinking they're
Exactly.
getting the same packet, but there's less
But no, they
inside.
are not.
Right. Okay. Right.
Yes.
Right.
And on the other side, to come out of this shrinkflation, they then say that there's a 10% extra in this particular packet, but it is actually the same
Same.
before the
Right.
shrinkflation is what they are.
Right.
So usually mint and all those newspapers usually give these kind of examples in the papers itself. So during my UPSC days, I used to read Indian Express and the Hindu.
Yeah.
And when I recently realized that I should not be reading these newspapers, I should more be reading from the business mindset papers, and therefore that's when I shifted to Mint and all such other papers.
Yeah. Okay.
That's when I started gaining information about financials and all other stuff.
Okay.
Hmm. Coming
Wonderful.
down to one other article which I would really like to tell about.
Good.
So, yeah. So last year, Global Innovation Index was released. Okay,
Yeah.
every country is being rated on what their global innovation index is, and what I feel that every student should also have an innovation index from their school.
Yeah.
So I wrote an article about it. It's called Students Generalized Innovation Index.
Wow. Okay.
So every year, a student should actually have an innovation index. They
Yeah.
can, come up with anything, improvised format of writing, or
Yeah.
any such other things.
Yeah.
Just at least try to do so.
Yeah.
In India, we have policies going around the Atal Innovation Mission.
Yeah.
Then there is a policy for entrepreneurship as well, and
Yeah.
so on. So these policies are actually very much supportive, but they're actually when they turn teenagers, or
Yeah.
that's when they are, actually into that field. But if you when people say that the mindset has to be developed from the start, or when uh, the students are smaller of them, when they are children, that's when I realized this can actually be an article where students are actually given innovation indexes from the start itself.
Okay. All right. All right.
Mhm.
Fair enough. All right. Good thought. You know,
Yeah,
uh, it's now very clear that what you learn, not in terms of reading, writing, etc., but what you learn as a human being from age 0 to 3 is most critical.
exactly,
It's even
exactly.
before going to school. What you learn from your parents, how to behave, how to think, how to eat, how to do this and that. That's really the critical age, 0 to 3. And if you are trying to do anything with them when they're 18 and 19, it's far too late. You really need to go down to a young age. Even the new education policy,
Exactly.
2020, India has a section called 0 to 3. They aren't doing much about it, but it is there. Okay, everybody knows that you have to go at 0 to 3. Okay, anyway, let me not talk. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, when you talked about new education policy, I had something in my mind. So I was admitted to senior school, uh, to the senior grade. Okay, let's say I was 3 years old when I was admitted to the junior KG class. And now what they have done is they have set the limit to 4. And I'm just guessing it why, because usually people graduate at the age of 21. I
Yeah,
graduated at the age of 20. So
yeah,
post 21, most people, they don't go for masters or higher education. They actually look up for jobs.
yes,
And currently, India's unemployment rate is not good. It's quite high.
yeah,
So, this shift of actually graduating people at the age of 22 provides a longer time. Even a 1 year time is more than enough to
yeah,
actually, generate jobs in the economy.
yeah.
And this is where somewhere I feel that this age change from 3.5, 4 to even 5 in some cases is because of this particular condition, what we are facing right now.
Okay, all right. Any other thoughts that you have you want to share? Any excitement that you have?
At this moment, I am really focusing on what I have on my hand. I'm, already always thinking of, doing some different things. Back in when I was at Gokhale Institute of Politics and Economics, in my final year, in my final semester, you know, uh, I actually thought that I'll give a talk session on data visualization,
Yeah,
and my team agreed on that. I was a part of the alumni committee, and I actually created a PPT out of it, and I presented around to 85 students, and that's when I gained confidence about my skills. So just learning is not important. You should be able to effectively present it to the other personalities ahead of you that I have actually learned this.
Yeah, okay.
And mhm,
Just keeping it inside you is not good enough. You have to
mhm,
be able to tell everybody about it. You're doing a great job. You have learned that skill very well. Your presentation is flawless. Okay, so you're doing a great job. So let's end it here, and we
surely.
may come back to you in a year to see how you're doing. But for the moment, let's say bye to our viewers, and I'll be back again with hopefully many young people. I like this series very much, and thank you, Smith. Bye bye.
Yep. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a great